welcome back to the Hazardous Artist Series, Episode 2, Christmas Madness in July. For madness it is, because I already messed up. Because, listen, we're still on Layer 1. That's right, you heard me right. We're on Layer 1 still. And I didn't think about this, because sometimes I don't think. But I saw a folder when I went in to record this particular video that said layer 1/2, which meant it was still layer 1, just the second part. There's also a third part. It's gonna be great, because we won't even be done until next week. It was a screw up, you guys, but it's okay. I live up to the title, and that's why you guys are here, to see how hazardous I really am. This is just one part of my life I have to deal with. And you know what's even funnier? Jesse actually called me out on it, and I didn't listen because I thought I was beside myself and told myself, no, this recording is great. I did awesome. It was so fantastic. And I posted it to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And then I went to this recording and realized, oh no. So, here we are. Back on layer 1. And even better, we're still on the metallic tree holder. That's right, it's metallic. But that's okay. That's why we're here, so we can go through the different little processes of how this art piece is going to finish. And, eventually we will reach layer 2, but it won't be today. But the finale of layer 1 is next week, so it's coming someday. So here we are. Christmas cards in July. My mother is so amazing. My Christmases were always weird. I have a crazy family to begin with. But it's my mother's favorite holiday. And so the Christmas tree is always decked out in these really fancy ornaments, most of which are ornaments that my brothers and I made when we were kids. So like clay little figures that look like giraffes but are really dinosaurs. Got some pictures from my childhood that I wish weren't there because I had really blonde hair and I acted blonde. And if my brothers text me and laugh, I will punch all 3 of you and knock you down. I didn't know where I was going with that thought process. But so Christmas was always kind of entertaining. I was the one who told my brother Santa didn't exist, nearly got grounded, but it was worth it. # worth it. But my dad went all out when we were kids. He would do like he would put boots in the fireplace because we had a very old-fashioned fireplace. He'd put boots in the fireplace where all the charcoal and the coals were, and he'd stomp them through the living room as if Santa came down the chimney, and it was very entertaining. My brother and I would wake up at the crack of dawn, and we would sit in the living room staring at our presents, because my mom went all out on our Christmases, always went all out. We had a full Christmas, presents under the tree, just full on, and she still goes all out, even to this day. Even though I moved out, she'll send me 2 giant boxes through UPS or USPS to me, full of presents for Ken and I. But, yes, it was just, it was fun. I really enjoyed our Christmases. And eventually, after we all were like, Santa doesn't exist, Dad, you can stop. Like, we know that's you stomping around the house with charcoal on your boots, and then you make us vacuum it afterwards. So, after we all grew up, my mother would do this thing, because she knew at this point it didn't matter anymore. She didn't have to sneak. Well, she did, but she didn't have to actually, full on just sneak everything in the house. The only thing she had to sneak was make sure that the presents got in without anybody noticing there were presents. But she would go Christmas shopping, and this is not an exaggeration. I'm just letting you know. She'll start Christmas shopping on, like, the day after New Year's. She would just go in for those bargains. Go, I think Mel would like this. And, buy it and store it for a whole, year before she finally wraps it and sends it to me. And then she'll be finished with 98% of her Christmas shopping by July. And it's usually between May and July when she actually texts me to ask me about Christmas cards for commissions, which is great because it means I get something to do, and it's great for her because then she doesn't have to buy Christmas cards by the bulk to send everyone, and she gets to choose what she wants on her Christmas card because I let her. She needs to know she has creative freedom. So, but back to my stories, because I don't know where I was going with my stories at this point. We all grew up. My mom goes Christmas shopping super early. I think it's because she really hates shopping like me. I think that's where I get my distaste for shopping from. But, so she'll get everything done by July, at usually the very minimum. I think the latest I've ever heard her stop shopping was November. But that was once in my life. And then she'll secretly sit in her bedroom and wrap presents. And actually, when she commissioned me for this, and I was talking to her on the phone one day, she was wrapping presents in her bedroom. Wrapping Christmas presents in, I guess, June. Because I don't remember. It had to be May or June when we were talking and she was wrapping presents. And she boasted how much she had gotten done. She was sitting there going, this is the second to the last present before I'm done. And I'm like, that's great, Mom. Good job. Guess you don't have to go shopping in November, huh? And my mom and I have a very special relationship. The kind of relationship that could pretty much say anything to her and it doesn't surprise her anymore. She just gives up sometimes with the stuff that I say. And I think, honestly, in my opinion, in my very, very biased opinion, I think it has something to do with my 3 brothers, because they're just as vulgar as I am. And I'm pretty sure my mom gave up from them, and she just doesn't care anymore. My poor mom. And then I moved here, and the Christmases here in California with Ken and his family are just absolutely outrageous. I enjoy them a lot. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy them so very much. Sometimes I plan, too, because there's a lot of planning you have to do with these Christmases. But I don't have to do that back home, which is kind of boring, but yeah, kind of nice. You gotta relax sometimes on Christmas and not plan about who you're gonna hit across the face with a foam sword. But yeah, I remember when I was a kid and the Game Boy was super, super big. Yes, I'm old. Like Stone Age old. I remember when pterodactyls flew across my yard, okay? When Game Boys were super big. And I got that Game Boy with Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue. The nostalgia that hit. I wish I could go back to that one Christmas. Just that one Christmas. So I can feel all those good feelings again. Anybody else feel like that? That they wish they could just go back in time to relive some nostalgic moments again? And then, so we would open our presents on Christmas, and it was a free-for-all. When I go to my grandmother's house for Christmas, and we have presents from her, we have to do it very, very in an orderly way. Usually it's like from youngest to oldest or oldest to youngest. It changed. We like to change it up every once in a while. But no, in my house, with my mother and father and my 3 brothers, it was a free for all. The 4 of us would open presents like barbarians, throwing paper everywhere and, bubble wrap everywhere. If we didn't stop to actually pop the bubble wrap first, threw it everywhere. I'm like, yeah, like little heathens. I don't know how my mom dealt with it, but we were little heathens. And then after we were done, usually my dad would open his presents, and then my mother would. And my poor mom, never got as much as we did, even though we tried. We tried. Especially when we got older and it was a little easier to buy our own presents. But my favorite thing about Christmas, and it makes me laugh every time I think about it, is when my mom, if she put down it wasn't from Santa, then it was from her and my dad. My dad would always get surprised, like, oh my god, look what you got. Like, weren't you there when my mom bought this and gave it to us? Like, isn't that the whole point of your name being on the present from? But, and I was really happy to know that I wasn't the only one who actually thought that. Because I've seen some memes around nowadays, especially around Christmas time, where dads are surprised that they got their children's particular presents, even though their name's on the from portion of the present. Always makes me laugh. My dad always got socks and made his day. It's like the happiest day of his life when he got more socks, as if he needed any more socks. But then we started getting socks. And when you're a kid, you don't want socks. That's the last thing you want. But when you turn into an adult and you go to college for the first time, socks are your absolute best friend. And if you're a guy, there's other reasons why socks are your absolute best friend, but we're not going to go there because this is supposed to be a family-friendly video. So, those are my lovely stories of Christmas. Not in July. Though, there are certain places here that do Christmas in July for particular reasons, but that's a story for another video. So, and lo and behold, I'm almost done with this video, guys. So this is just me realizing I needed a firewood holder in this fireplace because it would have looked really awkward to have firewood without a holder. It just burns on the platform, it just leaves ash, and then you have to clean it. Has anyone cleaned ash? I think it would be... I don't think I've ever cleaned ash in quantities, but I've cleaned ash when a little spritz here and there. So I have no idea how difficult it would be to actually clean ash. But that's not true. I had to actually pull out ash from a wood stove before, but I think that's different. To actually wipe down something that had ash all over it. Oh boy. Talk about angry. Angry cleaning. If that's ever a thing, especially on Christmas. If you had to vacuum the coal footprints from the fireplace, which was not entirely fun, but kind of funny that my parents went all out. That was great, though. I'm glad my parents went all out for our childhood. So it was nice. But, I clean up, though. So, in this video, because at some point I have to describe why it's taken me so long to make a firewood holder, it's because I'm really bad at inking most of the time. And I have a very heavy hand, so I had to actually lower the brush's size manually. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I can, not be impatient and lightly tap on my little tablet thing to make sure that I don't press too hard, but it doesn't happen very often. So with that, finished my firewood holder, my very, very thin firewood holder. That will be the end of our video today, guys. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did, even though this is still the first layer and we still have one more part to go, then I implore you to like this video, comment below on anything you wish to desire to say to me, and share with everyone you know. Let them know that this hazardous artist indeed lives up to her name. And I promise not to be disorganized? ? I may or may not be crossing my fingers, and you guys will never know because you can't see me. So, besides, come on. I have to live up to my title every once in a while for comedy's sake. So, with that, guys, I will see you all next week. But until then, dare to create. I'm the type of person that actually trip over Christmas needles. That's such a shame.